like that. There we go. Okay. Everybody hear me okay? So I was going to do this the other day, but I've decided to do it now because I just saw it sitting here on my table. Some of you have asked what goes on with the Tilda Australia Club. So there are only two Tilda clubs that have more than just a few people and that do more than just send out a box of fabric. So one of them is us, of course, and then there's Tilda Australia. Really, they only send out a box of fabric and things as well. But I'm going to show you what they send, and it's quite different from ours. So it comes in a bag like this, and this goes out from the distributor just like this. So it goes to the shops. Every shop gets the same packages, and then it gets sent out like a block of the month. So it just gets shipped out, and as far as I know, there are no shops that do anything with it other than just shipping it out as if it was like a block of the month. So it comes like this in a plastic bag. And then this is an idea of what is actually in the package. So I got this because I'm friends with the people who own Tilda Australia, and I did some work for them, and so they gave this to me as a gift. But this is one of their little patterns. So it's just a little 2-page pattern like this. And then the back has advertising on it. And then here's a little, since this was a stitchery thing, this is a little card that shows you how to do the stitches. And then this is what comes in it as far as fabric and stuff goes. So of course this is mine. And it's just 5 fat quarters and a pack of buttons. So that's the whole package for Tilda Australia. If you ever wondered what they get in their package, it's $40. They get 5 fat quarters and whatever. Sometimes they'll send, it's always something that's Tilda. So in this case, it was Tilda buttons. Sometimes they send ribbon, something like that. And then they get a little pattern, and that's pretty much it. It goes in their package. It's $40, and they only do it every other month. So they don't do it once a month. So if you ever wondered, that's what they get for the Tilda Australia Tilda Club. So this is what we're going to do. I was going to show you guys how to do reverse applique with the machine today, since you all had said that you didn't know how to do that, hadn't seen it before. So I thought I would show you how to do it. So this was my tester today because I haven't done it in a while myself. So I wanted to make sure I remembered all of my steps, and I did. So I decided that I wanted to have the little bunny rabbit showing in my little heart that I made. So that's how I did that. And I'm going to show you how we get to this point. So what you need is a piece of freezer paper. This is just a piece of freezer paper. And I have drawn on, this is the shiny side. I'm trying to show you that. I don't know if you can see in the picture, but that's the shiny side of the freezer paper. And I drew my heart on the shiny side because if it were something that wasn't a, what do I want to say? That wasn't the same on both sides. So say it was like the shape of a bunny rabbit or something, and you wanted it to go one direction or the other, make sure that you draw it on the shiny side because that's the side that's going to be your positive side. And so I drew my heart on the shiny side, and then I cut it out. And what I decided to do was make this little 1/2-inch patchwork to put inside the heart like this. And I'm going to use this as my background fabric. So what I'm going to do is press my freezer paper onto the background fabric so that the shiny side's down, of course, because we want it to stick. And I want this to be right in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and find the center of this. Just fold it into 4s to find the center. But of course, you can put it wherever you want to on your piece of fabric. And you can always cut it later and and make it perfect if you didn't get it quite centered. So I just gonna put it right in the middle. And I just hand drew this heart, so it's not a perfect heart. I'm just gonna press that freezer paper onto that background. I know you can't see this, but that's all I'm doing is just pressing it on. So has anybody done this before where you've used freezer paper to do reverse applique?
Mm-mm.
No, I've never done
No,
it.
I haven't.
Me either.
So this is going to be the same thing we do. Next week, I'm going to do another tutorial, and it's going to be, they call it the 6-minute circle. And all of this process is the same. You'll cut a circle out of freezer paper, and then cut it out of your freezer paper, and then you press it onto the back side of your fabric. Now what I'm going to do is just cut out the inside of that. And I'm just going to leave about, not 1/4 of an inch, I'm gonna leave a little more than 1/4 of an inch, maybe around 3/8 to 1/2 inch. Can you see this? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My monitor is over to the side, so I have to look over there if I want to see if you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just cutting out around the inside of the heart. This is my Singing in the Rain fabric, Bev McCullough. Anyway, so I'm going to just cut this where the point is at the top. I'm going to cut it straight across a little bit just to get rid of some of the bulk, like that. Now you don't cut in towards the out. This is an outer point. You don't cut in to that point. You just leave this. But on all of your outer curves, this is an inner, that's an outer. If you cut, you need to cut notches, yeah, all the way around your outer curves. Don't cut all the way to the paper, but get pretty darn close. And then down here on the point, you're going to cut all the way down into that point and get pretty close to that. So you just want to notch those curves so that you can go around the curves easier. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use Elmer's washable glue. Just regular old washable school glue. It's purple when it's not dry, but when it's dry, it dries clear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's totally washable. It washes right off. I had purple all over this. You can still see some right there, but I washed some of it off and I left some of it on so that you could see. So even though this dried, because I used the iron on it before it had completely dried, I used the iron so it dried with a little bit of purple, it'll wash right off with just a wet paper towel. So I'm just going to get glue all over the paper, and I'm just going to start turning up all the way around onto the paper. And what I usually do is start where the inner point is right there, and I fold it up straight like that, and then I fold the point in like that. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I did the point up, and then I'm doing this side kind of like we did when we paper pieced. So doing the sides in so that they stay, so you get that point right there. And it doesn't hurt anything if you get a little glue on your fingers. It washes right off. It's nice that way. And the other good thing about having the purple glue is you can tell if it's gotten too dry to stick because it'll start to go clear on you. And then you just go all the way around and stick it down. See it, that part had gotten a little too dry to stick. My fingernails are not helping today. So I just get glue all the way around, just like that. And then I just roll the fabric out onto the paper. I'm doing this while hugging the tripod of for the camera. And the good thing about this glue also is that it sticks really well, but then it doesn't stick so well that you can't get it off when you need to. So some of the glue, it doesn't stick well enough to the paper, or it sticks too well, or, you know, but for some reason the Elmer's just seems to work the best out of all of them. So you just hold it down for a second until it stays down on its own. Only takes a second. So there you have your heart. And then it's going to go on top of this little piece that I pieced this afternoon, like this. So before I do that, I want to press this a little bit and wait till the glue dries mostly. I'm just going to press it so it's good and crisp. So it looks nice, see? Okay, now what I'm going to do, not taking the paper off yet, take my glue, and I put the glue all over the seam allowance. And then I'm going to put it on this piece where I want it to be. I'll match that up to the center there. Make sure that I've got it. Yeah, looks good. This might have gotten a little bit over to the side, but I think it's okay. I didn't make this piece very big because 1/2 inch patchwork is a lot of work. Okay, so just leave that until it dries pretty good. I'm gonna put the glue away. And I'm going to look at Facebook and see if there was a question there. Hi, Kathy. Kathy from Portland. If you have a question, you can go ahead and ask it there on Facebook too, and I'll look at it in a minute. I'm not sitting in front of the computer, so I can't see it, but until I'm ready. Okay, so, whoops, sorry about that. Okay, now I'm just gonna press this since the glue has dried. So I went ahead and pressed it because it helps the glue to stick better. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull back the fabric of the applique piece, which is my my patchwork piece. And as I do, I'm going to pull the fabric that is the seam allowance for the reverse applique part. And I'm just gonna carefully pull it so that it stays with the patchwork piece. Because this is a heart, that inner point part is going to be hard to get out of there. I'm gonna have to use some tweezers to get it out, but it will come out. So I'm just, can you see what I'm doing there? Yeah, I think you can. So I'm just pulling the white away from the paper because it is glued down a little bit. So I'm just carefully pulling it away and keeping it with the patchwork piece. I just go all the way around, make sure that I've got it pulled away from the paper. And then I carefully pull the paper off all the way around. And I don't pull it this way where it's going over the top of this, the reverse applique part, the patchwork. I pull it toward the background fabric because I don't want it to pull the applique part off. So that outside fabric is going to pull through that hole. Can you see that? It's just coming through the hole of the heart. And here where the point is at the top of the heart, I'm just going to rip the paper there because I don't want it to pull off. Oops, didn't get this part undone yet. There. Okay, and right here is where that is, so I'm going to rip it. This looks much harder than it is. I'm just doing it really carefully and slowly so you guys can see what I'm doing. So it just came off like that. So now the paper's out. The only part where there's a little bit of paper is right here where the point is. So I'm going to take some tweezers and go in here and pull the paper out of there. If I can find it. There's just a little piece of paper right there. So I'm not going to hug the tripod while I do that. Just going to go ahead and pull it out. Okay. So it's all done. Now I'm just going to press it one more time because it gets a little wrinkly when you do that. Actually, I'm going to, right where that paper was, it needs to be pushed down a little bit. So you can take your tweezers and pull that point back out a little bit. Sometimes when you're pulling the paper out right there, but it's just because I decided to do a heart, you know? Had to do something hard, not easy. So I'm just pulling that little point out where I pulled it in when I pulled the paper out of it. Okay. Okay, now I'm just going to press it again. Okay, so that's all done. So now what I'm going to do is go over to my sewing machine. And through the magic of television, you're now at the sewing machine. Okay, so what I've done is put my sewing machine on a blanket stitch. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
White on white. So, and then I just tested it. I'm sorry.
But thank you.
And then I just took, you know, a scrap of fabric and I tested it. And then I got it to the size and width that I wanted it. Because at first it was way too small. That wouldn't have looked as good as this nice wider stitch that looks more like a hand stitch. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to see, sorry, because it's on white. But. So, and the other thing is, blanket stitches go different directions on different machines. So you want to make sure you know which direction it's going. So the first thing I do when I'm going to start doing a blanket stitch on my machine. Now next week I'm going to show you how to do this where you can do it blind. So you won't be able to see the stitches. It will be just like you hand applique it. But for the one today, this is showing you how to do it with a blanket stitch. You could also do this with a straight stitch if you wanted to. So you could just do a plain straight stitch all the way around here, just very close to the edge, and it would be fine. But I'm going to do this with a blanket stitch, and I'm hoping that I didn't start it in the middle. So I'm going to pull my thread up first because I want to be able to bury my threads later. I don't want it to be messy. So you don't backstitch, you just get a nice long thread, pull both of your threads up to the top, and then you can start. And I just go really slow, and I make sure, so I think this is now outside. So I'm going to do this. Make sure that it's right. There it is. Okay. So now I'm just right, my needle is right on the inside of where the heart is, and I'm just going to go really slow. I like to count how many stitches it is. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the reason I do that is that I know that the stitches, the one that goes out is on the third stitch. So if I get to a point and it's going to go out and go in a weird direction, then I know that I need to move my machine so that it doesn't do that. So when I get to this point, I want the stitch to go out at the point. So let's see how close I can get to doing that. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, and my thread broke. Great. Perfect. Hopefully your thread won't break. It's because I changed my thread out. I had better thread in here, but it was gray, and I didn't want gray stitches on my white fabric. Come on. Trying to see if I'm having a problem with this machine lately, so. And it looks like it's not catching. Two, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so now it's going to go a way I don't want it to go. So I'm going to move my machine a little bit so that it goes the right way. Okay, and now I'm going to put it, move it a little bit, put the needle down, and turn it. So in this case, you don't want your needle to be down. or to be locked down. So when you stop, you want it to be up so that you can move it if you need to. I really think I need to do something about this machine. So I just started using my Juki again, but it only has a straight stitch. So I had to go back to this machine to do this tutorial because it's the only one that's got a blanket stitch on it. I think it doesn't like these new needles. So anyway, you get the picture. This is the wrong direction, so I need to do this. On the outside stitch, on the stitch that goes sideways. Okay, that'll really match up. Anyway, there you are. All done. So then I don't cut my stitch there. I pull it out and I cut it over here, and then I can bury those threads afterwards. So can you see?
Oh, cute.
So it's all nice and blanket stitched. I have this one little spot right here where I broke my thread and I need to fix, but other than that, looks pretty cute. So that's that. Let me see if I can turn y'all back on here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I just turned my other thing off.
Adorable. Love it.
I'm looking to see if I can find a way to get back on. Let's see. How do we do this?
Yards of fabric.
I'm doing the ask to start video on all of you guys so you can come back on. There we go. Hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Sally?
Hello.
Kelly.
I've been here the whole. I'm on the other computer with. Can't even explain it, but I kept going to go hit the space bar to talk, and it wasn't on that screen. So.
Oh yeah, I had everybody muted there.
Answered everything. No, I have done that before.
Let's see if I can get a video of me. There I am. Hi.
Hi. I'm gonna move my window so that it doesn't look like I'm looking.
Oh, that's
out
right. I
of
did my hair the other direction today. I'm like, why is my hair going over here?
Should he?
Oh,
I shouldn't be that tired. I slept really well.
it's hot under these lights.
Oh, good.
I want to know how you did the 1/2-inch squares.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you use
Well-
that little bitty grid?
I didn't. So what I did was I had these, when I made, this is the Singing in the Rain, and when I made those blocks that I made that had all the 2.5-inch squares, I had all kinds of strips of 2.5-inch strips, and I had just little bits left at the end where I had like 1 inch or 2 inches left at the end of each of my 2.5-inch strips.
Oh, yeah.
So I took whatever was left, they were all exactly 2.5 inches wide. So I sewed them all together, just 2 at a time. And then I used my ruler and I cut them all 1 inch wide after I sewed them.
Yeah.
And then, so then I only had to put like little bitty 4 patches together. So I made like 9 little 4 patches and put them together.
Perfect. There it
Oh,
is.
and
Just
then
so
once this is appliqued, then you can go back in and trim your back part off. But cute, right?
Yeah.
That's very
Super
cute.
cute.
I'm
Very
gonna
cute.
I think I'm gonna piece it into the side of a bag.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna use it for. But I thought that would be a fun little thing to show you guys how to do.
Oh, yeah. It's really cute.
And it makes the cutest little things, and it's fast. So
Yeah. It is.
fast and
Especially with
easy.
the purple
And,
glue.
what's that?
Yeah.
Especially with the purple glue. That's my
Yeah.
favorite too.
Yeah.
Right. And Elmer's probably a lot cheaper than Coulter's glue sticks.
Yeah, the Coulter's glue sticks do not stick well enough. They don't have
Right.
enough stick to them.
Nice piece of information to have.
So for those of you who came on late, I was showing the Tilda Club package from Australia. I don't know if you guys saw that. I wanted to show you what the difference was between what you guys get and what they get.
Ours is much better.
Much. We're
They
spoiled.
don't get as much
That's so
stuff.
good.
We
But they
are
do have some really cute
spoiled.
patterns that they do. They do some really cute patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking in here going, oh, I've got a fat quarter. Is that fun? I'm like, oh, look, I've got some. Like, I forgot I had. When I was going through everything in this room to try and get it set up so I could have the sewing machine and the cameras and everything, when I found that. So anyway, I'm just sitting here cutting 2,000 fat corners.
My Lord, have mercy.
1,980 fat corners.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes,
I know
we
it's a
do
lot of work.
appreciate it.
It's a lot of work, I'm sure.
Here you can see there. This is the stack of them that need to be folded, and there's some over there already folded. And
It's a lot of work, Julie, and thank you very much.
that's the
Yes,
third
thank
of
you.
them that need to be done. And yeah, so this week's a little crazy busy, but that's okay.
Oh, I have to go put sweet potato fries in the oven because they're vegetables.
Sweet potato fries.
Yeah.
Sally, what's your
That's what
address?
Sally
I'll
calls
be
a
over.
vegetable.
It's a vegetable. Maybe starch, but it's a vegetable. Yeah.
I've
Good to be with you guys.
I've got a pork roast in the pot,
Sally.
in the crock pot, so I don't have to cook.
Oh, what do you have in the crock pot? What'd you say you put in the
A pork
crock pot?
roast.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Put a pork loin in
You
our
feel
crock
ready,
pot.
you know, then don't do it.
Pork loin's gonna go in
Guys,
there.
are you going live Thursday? You're chatting Thursday?
No.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, you're at the shop on Thursday.
I'll be at the shop Thursday afternoon. I don't have to work Thursday night, but I'll be working 16 hours Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be.
Ooh,
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get together and sew.
oh yeah, I've got that on my calendar.
Star, I'm just saying. Love you
What's
guys.
that? What's
I'm
that?
almost a pottery star.
Yay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
I've got all my blocks done, but I don't have them sewn together yet.
I got to put a border on it. So,
Mine is off to the quilter. I just love it. I
Oh
wanna
my
do it
goodness,
again.
Elaine.
Elaine, you win. Wow.
You are definitely the overachiever, girl.
Yeah, right?
It
yeah.
was really fun.
Amy, are you quilting yours yourself?
Yeah, I'll end up, because it's so small, I'll just do
Yeah.
it myself.
Yeah. I
I
have
had
something.
somebody on Instagram ask for your pattern.
Oh,
They want the
miniaturize it. You can take credit for it.
No, I
Guys.
told them that you miniaturized it, and they were like, "Oh, I want to make it." I was like, "Well, she did it for herself, but here's the regular pattern. Maybe she'll
Yeah.
give us the measurements."
I can, but I didn't do the geese the way that you did. You'd have to change up your pattern that little bit.
Yeah.
But I can write down what I did, and you can send it out as your, a mini version of it.
How miniature was it? What size was it?
So I added just a 1-inch border, so it ended up 25 inches square.
Oh, that's nice.
It's so cute.
That's
Thanks.
nice.
So cute.
It was fun.
Well, I'm going to sign off and go eat dinner. I'm kind of hungry. So,
Okay.
and we're on next Tuesday. You got some tutorials, so I'll keep a watch out for it.
Yep. We're gonna
And I'll watch out
next
for
Tuesday, I'm
Soda.
gonna show you how to do this only with the machine where your stitches don't show.
Oh.
So all
That's
the
right.
sewing will be on the inside.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All
Take
right.
care. Be safe.
Thanks, Julie.
It was good to see your faces.
You too. Bye.
Thank you, Julie.
Bye.
Tuesday.